Hi, this is on. Hi, I'm Jan Lubby. I live in Pascoag. And I'm not a scientist or a lawyer, hardly educated. What I do for a day job is I help deaf people find jobs. And so I'm not really an expert in any of this. But as you've seen from a lot of testimony, we've been doing a lot of reading. And I read the Invenergy application. It's pretty scary. I urge you to take a look at it in your spare time. I know you're busy, all of you. I read the 1988 environmental impact statement. It's hundreds of pages. I read through, not all of it. In 1998, John Chafee did the inventory for the Blackstone Valley Heritage Corridor. I read a lot of that as well. And I don't want to repeat what other people have said, so I'm kind of just flying off the cuff here and very nervous. Thank you for hearing us. I really appreciate it, and thank you, Senator Fogarty, too. It really means so much to us. I wanted to talk about the process because it pertains to the bill. Any other huge facility, energy facility like this, usually has to be approved by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. This plant doesn't have to. So right away, it's like, well, why not? Oh, well, they split it into these 3 segments so that each segment gets approved, so that it's not this. Why? How did that happen? I'm not smart enough to understand it, but it sounds a little sneaky to me. The process with our town council, this has been in the works for literally years. And it was a secret. It was kept a secret. And I don't remember what month it was, maybe March, at a town council meeting, the town council chairperson said they didn't know anything about the power plant until August of 2015. And people in the room were like, I don't know. I went, and this is also, I work full time. I should have help at work, and I don't. I work, it's like a double job, and I have another part-time job. So when somebody said we're not sleeping, this is all we do. This is all we do. It's that important to us. What was I saying? Going through the town council videos, and I find on February 23rd of 2015, they had, it wasn't an open town council meeting. It was a special town meeting. And I believe Senator Fogarty was there, and Cale Keeble and Representative Newberry was there. And not every member of the town council, but I think there were maybe 2 of them missing. And they sat and discussed it, and the town manager began the subject by saying, we've got this power plant coming to town, and we need, I'm paraphrasing, it's not a quote, and we need to make sure that legislation is in place so that nothing gets in the way of them coming. But meanwhile, they didn't know. They also said they're supposed to be neutral, but the council chairman put out a letter saying this plant coming here is a wonderful thing. That doesn't sound very neutral to me. So the process has just been so skewed, and for months now we've been going to the town council and speaking to them and having them say they're not allowed to respond to us when in fact they are, according to law. So it's just, you know, now we're going to try with this legislation to change the rules midstream, change horses midstream or whatever. had we known, had it not been a secret, had we known, we might have been able to get our act together a little sooner. So it's just, the whole process has been so frustrating and so unfair. And the fact that, I don't want to repeat what everybody else has said, but it's the worst place they could possibly do this. Please come to Burrillville, come to the parks up there, come to Pulaski and George Washington, and swim in Spring Lake, and come, please.
Senator Lombardi.
Put this forward to a vote in the full Senate, please, and then come enjoy this beautiful area and see what we're talking about. It's so important to us. I just want to take a look and see.
Senator Lombardi has a question for you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. No. You're doing great. You're doing great.
I'm so
and I
nervous.
empathize with everybody's position. And as we approach the 5th hour of this testimony, I want to reiterate what another great lawyer on this committee has already said, Senator Conley, that nothing we do here, and I don't mean this to be in any way cast any aspersions on the people of Burrillville, nothing we do tonight or in the future will prevent the erection of this power plant in the town of Burrillville. We need to separate the two issues. And please forgive me, and I'll shut up in 2 seconds. What we're being asked to do is to look at a tax treaty and whether or not the people of the town of Burrillville should be able to vote on a tax treaty to go or not go. It is within the purview and the jurisdiction of a body known as the EFSB that will determine whether that's site appropriate at Burrillville. So, and I'm not in any way trying to cut you off, and I certainly, sir, your story, you're my hero for what you said. I mean that. The greatest job I have in my life is being a dad, and I mean that proudly. But we cannot stop a power plant from coming to Burrillville, and I think we need to bring that home again, because
Absolutely.
I've been teasing Senator Conley. You know, they didn't listen to you. I've been teasing him back and forth, but I don't mean any disrespect. What I mean to say is that it's that board that's going to decide whether the power plant goes there.
Absolutely.
Not us. Okay.
And this bill would give us some say in some piece of it. Yes. And the other thing is, I know people have spoken to having somebody from the Water Resource Board there. It's essential. I don't know about adding the other people. I'm like I said, I'm not an expert, but I did talk to people, the water guy from Invenergy, when they did one of their marketing open houses. And I asked him about how they were going to clean the MTBE out of the water, and he said, with carbon filters. And I said, I've been reading about this. This is really sexy reading too. It's really so much fun. And what I read was that carbon doesn't clean out MTBE. It has a quality. MTBE has this quality that it kind of slides over the carbon. And so I was talking to him about that, and he said, well, we'll just use a lot of it. We'll just use a lot of it, which didn't make much sense to me. And I think somebody from the Water Resource Board would be essential, an essential addition to the EFSB. The place in San Diego that they keep citing that was a success did remediation first for 12 years before they did a couple years of, I might be off by a year or something, of carbon filtration until it was usable water. And so right now I don't think we have anybody on the EFSB that's an expert there. And again, we just had a member added, so adding other people to the board is not, here. The other thing about the process is it's on a timetable. So everything's getting rushed through. A decision has to be made. All all the opinions, all the advisory opinions have to be in by September. The decision has to be made by February. This is such a huge project with such a huge impact on Rhode Island that it's scary to me that it's being rushed through like this. I know that that's the process, but please give us some say. Please put this bill forward. Thank you for listening.